Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AITA. In today's episode, AITA for calling my daughter's father spineless and his girlfriend creepy over their name choice for their daughter? AITA for requiring that guests change clothes before they sit on my furniture? AITA for telling my sister I was the golden kid since she couldn't do anything right. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. AITA for calling my daughter's father spineless and his girlfriend creepy over their name choice for their daughter? A little bit of context for you all. I ended up falling pregnant with my 10-year-old daughter during a drunken hookup with a friend in my mid-20s. Not the most glamorous or flattering truth, but it's the truth all the same. When we found out, we decided to keep the child and co-parent while remaining friends. We were never a couple and we didn't want to be one either. 4 years ago, he began to date his long-term girlfriend and they moved in together last year. She fell pregnant and I've been supportive to them both as much as I could be without crossing any lines. I've encouraged my daughter to help out whenever she's staying with them during the pregnancy and to behave. I've also made it clear that I want the children to have a close relationship despite having different mothers. I've even said that if they were comfortable with it on nights I have my daughter, if they ever want time alone, I'll babysit once they have the baby so my daughter can spend time with her sibling. All in all, I thought everything was great and I was excited for my daughter to have a sibling as she's always wanted one, but I had no interest in having another child. 3 days ago, my friend and his girlfriend had a daughter. They asked me to bring my daughter to the hospital to meet her little sister yesterday alongside others of the family. So I did exactly that, but when they introduced us to the baby, I was shocked. They'd used my daughter's name. She didn't seem to have any issue with this when she introduced the baby bold as brass. My friend seemed uncomfortable and wouldn't look at me directly. I asked them what they were playing at which point my friend's father said he'd take my daughter down to the cafeteria to get something to eat and left with her. My friend told me to calm down and not overreact, while his girlfriend told me she didn't see the issue and it was a pretty name. I asked them if they'd named the baby for my daughter, trying to understand the logic here, but his girlfriend said that no, it was just a pretty name she liked. I then asked if they planned to use a nickname or a middle name when addressing to her on a daily basis, and her response was that she didn't see a need for that. I told them they were being ridiculous and that they couldn't do this. I then told his girlfriend that I found this frankly creepy and told my friend he was being spineless if he was happy to go along with this. He tried to claim our daughter could use a nickname or something, but I shut that down immediately, asking why it was more reasonable for a girl who has used that name for a decade to shame her name compared to a baby who had no concept of what a name was yet. His girlfriend told me I was being a b*tch talking to her like that after she just gave birth, and asked the nurses to remove me, saying I was being disruptive. Maybe my temper is running a little too hot though, and I was too harsh on her when she just gave birth. It's just so weird. Edit. I'd also like to state, I know that what they want to name their child is their choice. They could have called her Dinosaur for all I care, but this is one name that should be off limits or adjusted. They even have the same surname as they have the same father. Something about it just felt malicious and deliberate, as if she's trying to replace my daughter, and for them both to spring it on us like that at the first meeting? No, that was weird. NTA. From the outside it sure reads like she wants to replace her partner's affection for his first daughter with his new baby. Of course it's creepy. And the suggestion that the 10 years old should use a nickname? Wow. Talk about audacity. NTA. They hid this for a reason. He was embarrassed for a reason. The same first and last name is going to cause both those girls a lifetime of issues, especially with the same father. I usually would have a bit more sympathy for a woman who just gave birth, but she seemed deliberately cold and cruel towards your daughter, her stepdaughter, to have done this. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. This woman is mean as hell. Giving birth doesn't change her nature. She just used it as an opportunity to hurt someone who has seemingly been nice to her, OP, and an innocent child. NTA. I suggest you look into changing your daughter's surname to your own surname, or at least suggest she can do it when she's old enough. So at least they won't have the same full name, and she can get some distance from her creepy father. NTA. NTA. It is ridiculous that your daughter's dad and his GF do something creepy and crazy. You may be right to assume the GF is probably jealous of your daughter and trying to replace her. Not healthy. IMO, this was deliberate and not innocent even if they claim it to be. Edit, I am going to take a wild guess that the GF had orchestrated the name reveal at the hospital intentionally to generate evidence and throw you out from hospital and from the guy's life. She knew her behavior warrants a scene and she crafted a get out of jail card even before committing the crime. You just know that the GF will fill her daughter's head with BS and the new kid will spout shit like I'm the better Sarah cause daddy married my mommy, not yours. NTA. This is ridiculous of them and will cause both girls issues with government paperwork for their whole lives going forward. They aren't doing the new baby any favors here. NTA. Maybe not the time or place to blow up, but your friend letting his second daughter have the same name as his first is crazy. Is he trying to erase his mistake or something? AITA for requiring that guests change clothes before they sit on my furniture? This is a throwaway. I'm 20M and I live alone. I'm a very neat person. My mother kept our house pristine growing up and I helped her for as long as I can remember. I recently moved out into my own place and something that I started thinking about was how many germs from outside we track into our houses. I always change out of my clothes as soon as I get home, but whenever I have guests they don't. And I have no idea where they've been or what their clothes have been exposed to. About a month ago, I bought a bunch of those clear disposable raincoats and I started telling people who I invited over that they could bring a change of fresh clothes to change into or wear one of the coats before they sit on my furniture. I also offer to wash the clothes that they change out of if they want to. My girlfriend doesn't have a problem with this and started just leaving clothes at my place. My mom and my little sister have also been okay with this new rule. But I invited a friend over yesterday. I told them about the clothes thing before they came, and when they got here they were surprised that I actually enforced it and said you've got to F***ing with me. I told them no, I'm serious, and then they left. They haven't been answering my messages either. I was talking to my mom about it today and she said it was pretty excessive and unreasonable to expect everybody to do. I disagree, but am kind of double guessing myself. Am I in the wrong here? YTA and need therapy. I don't say that disparagingly at all. I sincerely think you would benefit from professional help. Agree. This is extreme and OP needs therapy, so I give a gentle YTA. But also, wouldn't it be easier to get large throw blankets to put over the sofa when guests come? I'm a mental health worker, and I can say without doubt that this person definitely needs professional help and support. YTA. You have OCD, my friend. Yes, there are germs out there, but the likelihood of them doing harm to you is near zero. This type of thing gets worse over time, so get help now. Remove the shoes, get help to deal with the rest. Recall a roommate catching a begrudged ride home with a coworker living nearby. Per her, his car seats were covered in plastic and when she exited the vehicle, he jumped out to spray her seat with disinfectant and wipe it down. Please don't be/remain that guy. YTA. Your mom is right, it is excessive and unreasonable for you to expect people to change clothes when they come over, assuming you don't suffer from some sort of condition that makes you unusually susceptible to infection. I'm not a psychologist, but it sounds like you should consult one. I don't want to judge because this sounds like a potential mental health concern. YTA. My mother also kept our house very pristine. However, we didn't expect our guest to change out of their clothes to come over. The fact that your mother didn't enforce this growing up should be your first clue that something else is at play here. You seem to have a phobia of germs. YTA, I think you might need to pursue some professional help. AITA for telling my sister I was the golden kid since she couldn't do anything right. My sister is a flaming hot mess. She made my life miserable growing up. She got in with the wrong crowd, ran away multiple times. The house was never peaceful. We are close in age. I was a pretty good kid. When I was allowed to hang out at the mall in 8th grade, my sister couldn't since my parents didn't trust her. When she was 17, they gave up on her, and I don't blame them. She ruined my mom's wedding dress. At 18, she was gone. They didn't kick her out, she just disappeared. She is back and is now 26. She got her life together, and my parent put strict boundaries with her. I've been meeting up with her more often, and she went on a huge rant about not being invited to Thanksgiving since my parents said they aren't at the point to let her back in their home. After at least 10 minutes, she went on about how I am the golden child, and at this point I had enough. I told her I was the golden child since she couldn't do anything right, and she is lucky anyone talks to her. She has never apologized, and she left in tears. Her BF called me pissed and think I am an unfair asshole. Edit, this thread has made me realize I don't care what her reason was, she still did a ton of awful stuff to me. It may explain why she acted that way, but it doesn't excuse it. Info, did your parents ever try to help your sister? Take her to therapy and a psychiatrist? Change what school she was going to? Interfere when their 13-year-old was getting in with the wrong crowd? If they gave up on her at 17, it sounds like they're shitty parents, especially since she's now in her mid-20s and they're holding her teenage behavior against her as a reason she can't come over for dinner. Yes, they tried. We moved once to a new school to help her. I'm still bitter I had to move and lost all my friends for her. She was in detention the first week of the new school. She was awful. Therapy happened with her. Group therapy was a nightmare. I don't blame my parents, it was bad enough is that I don't want to have kids since I worry they would be like her. NTA. You can tell when people are sincere and have really changed when they accept the limits people they have wronged put on them. She hasn't changed and is just as destructive and entitled as she ever was. This is spot on. Healthy people respect boundaries and own up to their behavior. There's something fishy going on. Kids don't act that way for the hell of it, there's always an underlying cause. She got her act together after leaving the family speaks mountains. Also, nobody has the same parents. Parents treat each child differently depending on what stage the parents are in their life. It wouldn't surprise me if she was acting out due to how they treated OP. Something is wrong and the parents are to blame. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.